Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We are still in the middle of our death game where we have to cooperate. Even though it seems like we're being pitted against each other, we have to cooperate so that we can all survive, which didn't work out for us last time because we died. Anyway, it looks like things are going to work out this time. Richard and Laura just played cards quickly, with Richard defaulting to let Laura take the last hand needed to win before letting Richard take the amount needed for us to win. And once we all had 3 cards... and that's the game. Let's take a look and see how the standings are. Team Low Volume loses. 3 hands won. Is that supposed to be us? And on the right we have Team Sunny and Sour. And they also have 3 hands won. So, with both teams having won 3 hands, have cleared the game and won. Congrats to the both of you for winning Silent Slaughter. You know that you can talk now. The game is over. Whew, alright then. I have a few questions. Ask away, but be mindful of the time. I have other places that I have to be. What the hell was that game? You gave us each different rules. Oh, did I? I'm pretty sure I gave you each the appropriate rules when I was talking. And the paper notes? Were those meant to be in accordance to the rules as well? Those things? They were more like house rules. Things you can play with and adjust on your own. You know, if you want to spice up play. They nearly got us killed because of the confusion. I don't think that's exactly fair. Sure it is. I mean, you both ended up winning in the end. So there's no real problem, is there? Of course there is. You basically misdirected us into thinking that our team was cheating. Well, that's your problem for having poor communication skills. Lilith, I think it's fine. We've won the game. Nobody died, so... all's well that ends well, right? Laura gets it. Who cares about the small details when all you should be worrying about is making it to the next lounge? If that's all, then I'll be taking my leave. Belle snapped her fingers and a door etched itself in the glass along with another door that I assumed would lead to our exit. Until next time. And without another word, she poofed away into a cloud of blue smoke and left us wondering what we just went through. She's right though. It is a good thing none of us died. Yeah, it is. Clyde, you ought to give Richard here a real big thank you. You're right, I should. It didn't even dawn on me that the rules were different until he showed off our differences in thinking. Oh, well, it's nothing big. I just noticed that we seem to have different reactions to things going on, so I just figured that maybe showing it on the table would make it easier for all of us. I mean, everyone was starting to get angry and frustrated, and I just wanted to avoid a scenario where we got into a fight. That's all. Well, that's a very useful skill. You did keep us from basically getting into a fight. Like I said, it's nothing really noteworthy. I'm sure that with enough time, one of you would have figured it out too. I just didn't know if we had the time is all. Well, either way, thanks for making things clear for us. But? I was just thinking, that's all. How many of us could have died in this game? I guess if you want to get technical, all 4 of us could have. Exactly. 4 of us could have died if we, say, talked out loud or both of us got up to 3 strikes. But we're the last game. Doesn't that mean the amount of people that should have lived or died be set? I suppose you have a point there. And yet here we all are, all alive. Doesn't that seem a little strange to you? I mean, really, there could have been as little as 1 survivor, or possibly 2, or even 3. Belle couldn't possibly account for each of those variances. Then what do you think that means? I don't know. Maybe she's somehow enforcing a certain outcome? Maybe we were destined to all survive. Well, if that's true, then I'm glad she decided to let us survive all this. That doesn't make much sense to me. Belle doesn't make these games with the intention of leading us to a specific outcome. It's not much of a game if she's just making us perform or act in a certain way. Then how would you explain it? I don't know, but obviously she wouldn't make a game with such variance if she didn't have some means to at least make it work, right? If she were here, we could ask. We don't need to worry about that, do we? In the end, as long as we survive, then all is well. I suppose you're right. No point trying to rack my brain about this. Let's go, Laura. Right. Clyde, Richard, are you two coming? Yeah, we're coming. Richard? Oh, sorry, I just got a bit lost in my own head there for a bit. I'll be right behind you. We pushed open the door and entered into the hallway. Well, at least we're halfway there. Only 2 more games to go. Right, honestly, things don't seem so bad. Certainly better than what I had last time. I bet anything's better than having to kill someone, you know. She really doesn't have a filter, does she? Well, that means we're 2 games closer to getting a wish. True. What would you wish for? You know, assuming that you end up winning and you can get whatever wish you want. I'd wish for everyone that died would come back to life, of course. I mean, wouldn't you wish for that too? Oh, well, when you say it out loud, it does seem obvious, doesn't it? I mean, I was definitely going to save Devon if that was allowed, but considering that everyone except one person is going to die, that's probably for the best. Exactly, though I guess not everyone is probably thinking that. Probably not. I mean, some people definitely came here with bad intentions. Bad intentions? Maybe not bad, just selfish intentions. Are you one of those people with selfish intentions? Wait, really? Well, I mean, sort of. You mean you wouldn't save the rest of us if you could? I definitely would, really. It's just not all that necessary. Not necessary? Right, they went here with Richard when Richard told me about how people here don't stay permanently dead. So they're probably still worried about keeping themselves alive. I wonder if he's going to tell them now. Yeah, because no one here really dies. Well, I guess that answers that question. Really? Hold on. You're going to have to explain yourself. You can't just say something like that and expect us to play along as if it were common knowledge. Well, instead of dying, you sort of just fall asleep and then you wake up later? It's not exactly convincing. Apparently other people know this much too. What? You knew too, Clyde? I only knew after Richard told me. Then Grant said he was right, so... There are apparently a bunch of other people here who know about this. You gotta be kidding me. All this death ain't even real? Oh no, I mean, it's kind of real. You do sort of die, it's just not permanent. And how exactly does that work? Well, I guess I'd say it's kind of like putting a soul back in a body, right? Even if the body dies, the soul still exists. Again with this crap? Well, even if you don't believe in that theory exactly, you can't deny that when you're in the presence of some almighty being, that being brought back from the dead isn't that far-fetched. I'm not going to believe anything until I see some concrete proof. But if what you're saying is true, then at least I won't have to worry about Laura being dead forever. I'm relieved too, honestly. If the dead truly come back, then there's hope for us yet. You shouldn't let yourself get complacent though. You should still try to win when you can. At least that's what my dad said. I'd rather not have to put myself or others through an ordeal of pain just for the sake of a wish. Well, I might. Lilith, are you being serious right now? Why not? I mean, everyone else here is going to be fine. Why not strive for a wish? I mean, I wouldn't hurt you if I could help it, but I mean, it's a wish. Assuming that this god can actually do all the stuff I imagine, then we could be living the high life after today. I'm really not motivated to put more people through suffering just for my own selfish desires. That's good, Laura. I can tell you're a kind soul that would try to minimize as much suffering as possible. Oh, you don't need to flatter me that much, I just know... I'm just trying to do what's right. Well, what would you wish for then, since you probably won't have to wish to revive any of us? Oh, that. Shouldn't you already know? Laura hesitated and she avoided eye contact as she fiddled with her fingers. I'm not really sure what I'd wish for. What do you mean by that? You could wish for literally anything. You could wish for money or eternal youth, true love, since I know you're obsessed with that kind of thing. I'm not obsessed with it. Sure, keep telling yourself that. Better yet, why not just wish for Emma to get better? Emma? Her kid. She's pretty sick. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I could wish for that, couldn't I? I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. Just seems like a no-brainer to me. Isn't that why she came here? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Maybe I'll try to do that. But what about you three? I'm sure you've got your own ideas for what you'd want to wish for right now, right? At least, now you don't have to worry about you or your loved ones dying. Honestly, I haven't thought much about it. I figured I'd probably save Devon, and now that I don't have to worry about anything, I could focus on something else. Didn't we come here to save someone as well? Has everyone forgot about the reason they came here in the first place? Maybe I'll do what you said, Laura. My mother's pretty sick, so I think I'd want to help her get better if I could help it. She's blessed to have such a thoughtful and reliable son willing to help her out. Well, I did come here to help her, even though I didn't think it through all that much. So I wouldn't exactly say I've been thoughtful about this at all. What about you, Lilith? Well, I guess I'd probably just help Laura's kid if I had the chance to. Otherwise, I don't know. I think being filthy rich would be nice. That or being eternally young. Those seem like pretty good deals to you, too, if you ask me. But not true love? I don't believe in that kind of thing, Laura. Besides, if I'm eternally youthful, I'll have plenty of loves, probably. Who's to say if one is more true than the other? You've never been much of a romantic, have you? I got no problem with romance, I just don't feel like limiting my options. Laura let out a soft sigh and shook her head. I probably had this conversation a number of times. And you, Richard? What would you wish for? Oh, well... He pondered the thought for a while as he toyed around with his scarf. My father came here with the intention of saving someone, and he thought that I should come along to try and bring back his wife. Bring back, huh? Well, there you go, Laura, an example of true love right there. Some guy's willing to use his kid to bring back his dead wife. Well, that's certainly a form of dedication. Why do you seem hesitant to talk about it? Well, I guess it's not really all that motivating to me. What? Why not? That's your mother, isn't it? Not everyone has good relationships with their parents, Laura. Oh, no, it's not that. My mother was a sweet and kind soul. I'd be more than happy to bring her back. I never got to see her pass, after all. Oh. But that's just the way things are. Living things live until they don't. It's sad, but it's also inevitable. She died at my father's side. I don't think that she could have asked for anything more than that. Is that why you're not motivated to bring her back? Do you think your time on Earth has simply run out? Even if I did bring it back... This is not meant to be Lilith talking. Even if I did bring it back, what's to keep her from passing on the second that she's back in the land of the living? Unless Belle's going to bring her back in some fresh new body that isn't aged or decaying. Oh, maybe it was Lilith meant to be talking. Oh, I never really thought about that. But no, if the circumstances were different, I might be more motivated and eager to bring back my mother. I just have more important priorities. What could be more important than that? Eliminating a danger to the world. Huh? Oh, was I too quiet? No, we heard you loud and clear. What do you mean eliminating a danger to the world? Are you planning on trying to kill some terrorist or something with your wish? Something to that effect, yes. What, are you serious? I'm very serious. Some might even say dead serious. Haha. I'm not sure if that's exactly a joking matter. Oh, yeah, you're right. But I was being serious too. There is someone I'd wish to kill if I got the chance. Never would have pegged you as the murderous type. I'm not murderous. This isn't some sadistic urge that I have to fulfill. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. The person I'm aiming for, that man, he hurts people, he kills people, he intimidates people, he extorts people. The world would be better off if he was dead, especially since I doubt he'll face any consequences for his actions anytime soon. Sounds like this arsehole's about to get what's coming to him. If I can help it, yeah. But why this guy specifically? There's tons of shitty murderers and bastards out in the world. There's a reason why you're zeroing in on this guy in particular? Was this the same person that nearly killed your father? Maybe. Richard, are you sure it's a good idea to seek revenge in such a way? With all due respect, Laura, this is an unrepentant monster that gets a sadistic glee out of hurting and controlling other people. I didn't come here lightly. I investigated and checked him out thoroughly to make sure I understood what I was doing. I see. Don't go crying for the guy. It's his business. If he wants to murder some arsehole, I say let him do it. Especially if the world would be better for it. Not like it's going to affect us. I suppose you're right. Just one more question. What is it? Your father doesn't know about this, does he? What would he think if he found out his son had murdered another? I don't know. I think if I'd murdered another murderer and saved a ton of people grief and pain, that I'd get some kind of reward. Maybe not from Dad, but Mum might get me a cake. Mum would not get a cake for murdering someone. Yeah, right, she's frugal. Maybe just a pint of ice cream. That's not... The point is he'd likely be disappointed in you. Just please be careful about letting yourself get lost in your own righteousness. Don't fret too much about it. Just do what you think is right. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders, so I doubt you haven't thought this shit through. I'll try not to. Good, because the door's coming up and you probably won't have time to sort your head through it. Yeah. Laura and Lilith walked through the door leading to the next lounge, but Richard had slowed down his pace and had come to a complete stop. Hey, you alright, Richard? I'll be fine, I just need a few seconds to think things over. Having doubts? Not doubt. I guess more just preparing myself for the inevitable. The disappointment, anger, and panic that my father's going to have knowing that I did this. You think it's going to be that bad, huh? Why not just keep it a secret then? Well, I'm sure that he'll know. After all, his wife won't be back to life, and he'll ask me what I wished for. I can't lie to him, and when he finds out the truth, well, I doubt he'll have a muted reaction. And it'll cause a whole bunch of other problems too, but it's just the cost of doing the right thing. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. This will be one of those times where doing the right thing means I have to suffer a bit of pain for it. It's awfully selfless of you. If you call murdering a terror selfless, then sure. Honestly, I'm surprised myself with how willing I am to go for this, but perhaps there's just some fire in me that wants to do what's right. I doubt it's my father's influence. Your father's influence? Well, I guess I can just feel Dad pushing me on, you know, trying to make sure I get through each game. Before it was literal, and now it's just more of a feeling, I guess. But I doubt that he pushed me to murder. That's my own thing, you know? That's a good drive to have, I think. Better than being empty and lost. Yeah, I suppose so. Haven't you felt it? Devon's influence on you? I mean, I'm not really sure what you mean, so I guess not? Huh, maybe it hasn't hit you yet. But you'll know what I'm talking about. Happens to each of us eventually. So, shall we enter the lounge? We might as well see what the situation is. They probably don't want to wait on us for long either. Exactly. Best not to keep them waiting. With that said, we opened the door and walked into the lounge once again. Same old lounge. Guess nothing really does change around here. My eyes did a quick scan to see who the survivors were and who was left. There should only be 4 others. Ah, so the stragglers have made it. Welcome back. Everett, Grant, Alphonse and William were lounging on the couches. Trying to do the math on who survived what games? Yeah, I'm trying to remember who went through what doors. Well, let me make it easy for you. Obviously my amazing skills assured that I was going to survive. And because Everett was paired up with me as a teammate, it meant the downfall of Teresa and Elizabeth. Kind of sad to see them go, but when you're as great as me, you just can't show mercy. Alright, sure, that's what happened. That's what happened. Okay, fine. Then Alphonse and Grant were teamed up together as well. Basically, it was us against Jade and Maria. As you can clearly see the results of the game. Not that Jade and Maria made it easy, mind you. They're quite the fighters when they're motivated. Alright, well I guess it explains how you each got here. Yeah, we all did the heavy lifting so that you and the others could get an easy game. It wasn't really an easy game, it was confusing as hell. Really? Well, perhaps the game was confusing, but it wasn't exactly a threat to your life. No, there was a definite threat to my life. If things had gone differently, then I'd be dead for sure. Well, it didn't. Well, it didn't, so I suppose everything worked out, right? Yeah, I guess so. Look past them toward the 2 doors leading out to the next game rooms. We're all here now, so we're gonna get going then? Hey, there's no rush. You need a break, don't you? A guy like me can rush right into the next game, no problem, but you probably need a breather, don't you? How considerate of you. Our game wasn't really that intense, so I don't mind going ahead. But what about Lilith and Laura? Maybe they need a moment to relax. Actually, I did want to have a chat with Laura and Richard. You wanted to talk with me? Just about something very brief. Everett rubbed his temples as he grimaced in pain. Pardon me, I've been racked with headaches for a while now. See, poor Everett needs a moment to get his head on straight. You sure you want to talk to us while you get a headache? It's nothing major, it just comes and goes. Well, I suppose it can't hurt to chat for a while. Great, I think that Lilith and Laura are talking in the kitchenette. Shall we go? Richard just shrugged and followed behind Everett to the kitchen. Is he alright? He was complaining about headaches all through the game that we had. Maybe he just gets migraines. Might be something magical. Magical, huh? Yeah, it's like sometimes magical interference from various creatures and phenomena can cause headaches. Elizabeth told me so. My guess, Everett must be getting overwhelmed by the latent magical energies of this place. A weaker mind like his might be suffering to comprehend and understand everything that's going on. Funny how you didn't mention that he went that when he was in earshot. Well, you know, I don't want to embarrass him in front of everyone. Really, I'm doing him a service. I know quite a few spells and rituals that can dampen the effects of magic. You're an odd kid, you know that? I'm not odd, I just know things most people don't know about. People like to think the world is mundane, but I know the truth. I've seen it myself. They can laugh and mock me all they want, but I know the truth. Alphonse looked William up and down, which seemed to make the smaller man shrink. What? You trying to ascertain my abilities? I could show you all sorts of things, but it'd be like trying to make a geyser in the ocean. You just can't do it. Bell's powers here are just too strong for a young aspirant like me. Well, sort of. Just wanted to ask how long you've been like that. Been like what? You said you've had these magical abilities. How long have you had them for? Oh, you want to know? There was a hint of surprise in his voice, as though he didn't expect anyone to believe him, or rather no one to take an interest in him. But once the shock was over, he was grinning with pride once again. All my life, I imagine. That's why Elizabeth wanted to teach me about the ways of the magical world. She could tell that I had talent, true skill that needed to be moulded into something greater. Huh, well what can you do? Well, I specialise in sensing. Really? Impressed. I've been able to tell when I'm around magical people or magical entities. Because of that, I've been able to spot werewolves, vampires, and fae. Are you serious? Okay, so maybe it wasn't an actual werewolf, but just a suspiciously hairy guy. And maybe the vampire was really just a pale guy that drank a lot of wine. But I've seen fae before, when I went on a trek in the woods. They made me follow them to this real beautiful glade in the forest. And then they almost broke my leg by leading me over to a sinkhole. Classic fae behaviour. Don't tell me you actually believe this guy. I can't say I know all that much about his abilities, but I do believe in the supernatural. Things like ghosts, spirits, monsters, I believe in them all. You're a private investigator. Aren't you supposed to ground yourself in reality and facts? True, but that doesn't mean I can't believe in more fantastical things, can I? Besides, I do a side gig as a paranormal investigator. You can't be serious. I am. I even have an online channel dedicated to it. A private investigator that moonlights as a paranormal investigator. I've seen it all. Then you must know a lot about spirits then. Well, I wouldn't say I know a lot about them. I've just seen a few, or at least seen what they can do. But I haven't done in-depth research to really say I can tell the difference between a ghost, a spirit, or a poltergeist. Scary stuff, though. You ever dealt with a spectre? No, I try not to deal with a lot of the dangerous stuff. I'm still learning, after all. Elizabeth said if I ever felt a chill in my spine or wandered around haunted houses, then I should get the hell out of Dodge. Sound advice. Wish I had someone like that looking over me when I was growing up. You didn't? Wait, do you have supernatural powers too? Alphonse simply shrugged. Sort of. It's nothing really crazy. I just sort of get a sort of supernatural way of reading people if I talk to them enough. It manifests itself in different ways. Sometimes a feeling, sometimes an image. I can't really control it that well either. It sounds like Richard's empathy, super empathy. But it's never led me down the wrong path yet. Never thought I'd meet another person like me here of all places. Now how come I didn't sense it? I figured I'd be able to know if someone else was here like me. Maybe it's the environment. I don't know what your sensing ability feels like, but this whole place is super. If this whole place is supernatural in nature, then maybe you're just overwhelmed. Kind of like trying to detect heat when you're in the middle of a firestorm. I think you have some serious problems detecting anything if you're in a firestorm. But you get the point. Hard to sense differences when you're overwhelmed at all sides. You know what? That makes sense. Though now that I think about it, I did sort of feel some supernatural vibes from you and Richard before we got here. It wasn't that big, just a small itch. I thought that it might have been the area, but now I'm sure of it. Richard, huh? We know Richard's got it. Yeah, he's definitely got supernatural vibes going on. I wonder if that has something to do with how perceptive he is with his eyes. Maybe I'll go ask him about it. You go do that. I'm going to talk with Alphonse more about his supernatural experiences. It'll come in handy for a guy like me. Right, well, you have fun with it. It was odd to see William and Alphonse getting along over something strange. But at least he's not annoying me while he's chatting with him. Of course, as soon as I set foot in the kitchenette, another scene was already in progress. I had a feeling I wasn't going to be able to get my own question answered anytime soon. But that's not what you wanted before. Pardon? What do you mean? You wanted something else? Laura, what are you talking about? I'm just confused. You are the same man, aren't you? You're the one asking if I was supposed to kill that lady, right? That's what you wanted me to do, isn't it? What? I'm sorry, Lilith. I didn't tell you because I was scared and I didn't really understand what they were asking of me, but they wanted me to wish someone dead. I thought they were joking. I thought that it wasn't real, but... Hold on. Who are you talking about? You know who. That Kana lady, whoever she is. Kana? That's what I was told. I don't know who that is. I don't even know why they want her dead. I just thought it was a joke. I didn't think... Hey, what the hell did you drag my sister into? You trying to make a murderer out of her? No, I don't... I would never do such a thing. Frankly, I don't know who would even want to kill Kana. Kana Umishima? Yes, that's her name. That's what I was told. Do you know them? Sort of. I guess she's more of an old friend of my father's. Well, apparently someone wants her dead. But I don't understand, Everett. You're asking me to change my wish? As if I had something else to do? So I don't get it. Why do you want me to save this Nigel person all of a sudden? Can't you just do that on your own? That's, He rubbed the back of his neck nervously as he tried to find the right words to slip out of his mouth. I just need a little help, really. It could go a long way. If you give me the time to explain myself, I promise it'll make sense. We're not doing this. You're not pulling my sister into whatever schemes you've got. You sure as hell aren't turning into a murderer or some guardian either. Lilith, please, I just need a moment to explain. I already told you we're not listening. We don't want to get caught up in whatever bullshit you're knee deep in. Come on, Laura. Wait, if you just... Everett grabbed a hold of Laura's arm. Please, I'm desperate here. I wouldn't ask this if my life wasn't on the line. I'm at the end of my rope. Please, let go of her arm before I cut it off. Of course, I'm sorry, but my friend is in trouble. My dear friend could die if things don't go right today. If something happened to him, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself for at least not trying. Fine, I'll hear you out. Laura, I'm not making any decisions. I'm confused. I don't understand anything that's going on. But if someone's in danger, the least I can do is hear them out. Thank you. Thank you so much, Laura. You really are a lifesaver, you know that? I hope I can be. Well then allow me to... I hate to interrupt, but we're getting ready to move into the next set of games. Our Fonz wanted me to let you all know, so yeah. Oh darn, looks like we're about to run out of time. It's fine, we only need one group of 4 to enter the first door. If you, Laura, myself and someone else grouped up, we could just go into the second door and spend a bit more time talking. Ugh. That's fine. We should probably talk about this with everyone else though. Can we meet back up at the lounge? Of course, of course. Everett walked over with Laura and Lilith over to the lounge, along with Grant. What was that all about? Everett was asking Laura if she might be willing to wish for something on his behalf. Well, me too, but I think he was hoping Laura would be more eager. And it just spiraled out of control from there. Do you have any idea what it's about? Well, a few ideas. My guess is Everett wants to protect someone and needs a little help on the wish front with that. Maybe he thinks that having Laura on his side will help. Then why not ask both Laura and Lilith? That's a good question. Maybe Lilith can't help anymore. Can't help anymore? Richard simply shrugged and started walking toward the lounge. She's already had her wish. Hey, wait up. You clearly know something. You know this Kano Umishima woman or whatever. What's she got to do with all this? Honestly, I don't know. I just know the name because she used to be friends with my father. No, I can think of a few reasons why someone would want her dead. Seriously? Yeah, probably. I mean, I haven't kept up with her, but I can imagine a few things. If you say so. I didn't really believe him fully. It's not like I had any way to prove that he was lying. Maybe he was right. Maybe this is just some odd coincidence. But I didn't have much time to figure that out. We had to sort out our groups after all. So Lilith, Laura and Everett. You three want to be a group? That's fine, isn't it? Sure, I'm not going to tell you that you can't join up with whoever you want. Mind if I tag along? What? Shouldn't be a problem, should it? Well, I suppose there's no problem, no. Hey, I wanted to join that group too. Really? I figured that I didn't want to go in the same group as Everett. You didn't want to go in the same group as Everett. Why? Just because he's bigger than me doesn't mean he can just beat me in a fight. He could definitely beat you in a fight with one hand tied behind his back too, I bet. But that's beside the point. The games aren't always about brute strength anyway. It's just that I want a bit more time to rest is all. Is that the reason? You've had more rest than all of us. I expend a lot of energy. I need the rest. I need more rest than the average person. I see, it must be tough always pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. It is. You don't know how hard I push myself every day. I'm sure you can tough it out, right? You're a strong guy with a big heart and a bigger spirit. I bet you'd win the next game, no problem if you went for it now. And I'd really appreciate having another breather. Well, I guess I should give you another chance to rest. Elizabeth always said to be polite to the elderly. Fine, for you, I'll push myself a little bit further. So you better make the most of the help I'm giving you. Thanks, William. I really appreciate it. Fine, whatever, then we got our group settled, right? Grant, Clyde, Richard and William will go through door 1, and the rest of us will go through door 2. Everyone got it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all understand. Didn't get much of a choice in the matter either, but I'm not complaining. Richard's fine. Grant's quiet, but he seems alright. William's the only annoyance, but maybe it'll be tolerable. Alright then. Let's get going. We've got a game to win. Or at least, I've got a game to win. I would not weep for William if he met his untimely end in the next game. Lead the way. The three of us walked right behind William into the next waiting room and watched as the door closed firmly behind us. You know, thinking about it, this really is the best situation for each of you. You'll have a better chance of living when you play a game with me in the first round. Is that what you really think? The math checks out, doesn't it? The math does not check out at all, William. Well, it's good that we're under your protection then. Well, you're going to have to still do your part. But your odds of survival are at least better now. Right. Let's wait to see what Belle has to say before we start calculating odds of success. Sure, Belle. Belle will back me up on this. I severely doubt that. Did someone call for me? Belle's face appeared on the screen as usual. Great timing as usual, Belle. Can you let them know about my amazing ability to win these games? Oh, I can certainly do that, William. You're one of my favourites here after all. I am? Yes, no one here has quite the spunk and moxie to keep up after they fail. Huh? Not quite the words you wanted to hear, William. Oh, but don't be mistaken, William is quite clever and has his moments. What he lacks in intelligence, he makes up for in scrappy determination. It's kinda cute. Like looking at a rat trying to outwit a wolf. It's not exactly the kind of praise I was looking for. It was still mostly positive, William. Would you call me a rat? Would you prefer a mouse? I'd prefer something cooler like a wolf or a tiger or, you know, anything else that's not so small. He's got little person syndrome. Well, I can't really think of anything that fits the moment, so let's get back to that later. Anyway, how you four feeling? Ready for the boys' game night? Usually a game night involves snacks and games that won't result in the death of players. Games aren't any fun if there aren't stakes. Besides, there are tons of games where characters die. We're just going to make it a little more real is all. Will you provide us snacks at least then? Sure, I'll give you some snacks. Really? Yeah, what are you in the mood for? I honestly didn't think I'd get this far with the joke. I'll take pita chips. Just some crackers for me. Almonds, please. You're all actually asking for snacks? Well, she was offering, so... Fine, just give me some sunflower seeds. Here you go. Val snapped her fingers and each of our snacks fell into our hands in a puff of smoke. Don't say I'm a bad host now. I don't know if giving us free snacks suddenly absolves you of being a bad host. Some people are just impossible to please. Well, let's get to the roulette portion then. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. We made it through another game. We have 2 more games to go. And I don't know what ending we're heading towards here, but I'm guessing Richard. But we will see. Anyway, thanks for watching, Bruce, and I'll see you in the next one.